What does what we eat have to do with how we live? I'm Jabalani Lafall, and on today's Central Standard, our first of two shows about the local food movement. This is a double header: planted, harvested, cooked up, and served fresh, with help from Iowa Public Radio and Harvest Public Media. Join us in the next hour for a look at the connection between local food, social good, and urban agriculture at large. We begin with BoysGrow. They're teaching inner city youth about running a business selling their own salsa, for instance, at Whole Foods and other Kansas City metro markets. For BoysGrow, selling their produce directly to local restaurants can serve a higher purpose. Their director says when you sell a tomato to a chef who's going to cook it that night, you can't help but really get how local food works, and you can't help but start to feel like part of a larger movement. So we're digging in and taking a first bite on Central Standard after this hour's news. Good morning, Kansas City, and good morning, listeners of Talk of Iowa on Iowa Public Radio. A supply chain separates our mouth and mindset from the foods we eat. A chain of producers, processors, manufacturers, shippers, and retailers all touch our food before we buy it. Today, a local food movement is working to build alternatives to trim the fat of this supply chain. A century-old idea that some hope will take us to the next century: local food. This is Central Standard. I'm Jabalani Lafall. Today we bring you the first part of a two-day look at local food as part of our ongoing collaboration with Harvest Public Media and Iowa Public Radio. Today we discovered that local food and the related movements in metroplexes such as Kansas City, Des Moines, Iowa City, and Ames, local food isn't just about food anymore. Joining us now in our first segment of this simulcast is John Gordon of the Kansas City-based BoysGrow Corporation and a second-year student in this program, a young man by the name of Ben Lemus. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
John, you started BoysGrow 2 years ago. What's the concept?
The concept is taking inner city youth and providing a job for them. So what we do is we use farming and agriculture as the vehicle to teach entrepreneurism.
Why boys? Why only boys?
We're trying to create a healthy male environment where these guys got healthy male mentors to look up to, kind of create a healthy community, something they can grab onto.
And why is that important?
As all these guys are in transitional age. They're between 12 and 15 years old, and they're going to take a few different directions in life, and we're trying to show them one path.
And you're taking a different direction in life, Ben Lemus. What types of products do you sell as part of this program?
Well, actually, we have two different products, I guess you could say. The first year boys of BoysGrow, we made a salsa called Salsa Orgullo, and we also sell some of our produce to restaurants.
What types of produce do you sell?
We sell tomatoes, okra, basil, cabbage, zucchini, cucumbers, summer squash, just a lot of different types of food.
And most of these, if not all of these, are vegetables you actually grow yourself.
Yeah, they're grown at our farm.
That's awesome. John, what types of restaurants are purchasing this produce?
We sell to, this morning we're at the West Side Local, and we're at the Rieger Hotel on Main Street, and then we sell to Tio Cali and the Farmhouse.
And what's the reception been?
They love it. I mean, the restaurants want to buy local produce, and then when we kind of slash the entrepreneur side in there, where the kids are actually writing the invoices, the kids know the price list, the kids are doing everything involved, naturally, especially the restaurants that we go to is entrepreneurial based, so they support that program just from the start. So the fact they're getting fresh local produce and supporting a good cause, it's a win-win.
So this is like a lemonade stand at like 5,000, basically.
5,000,
like
sure.
like Hyperdrive.
For sure.
And there's new news in Kansas City for a local institution we have here in Kansas City, Blanc Burger.
Mm-hmm.
The BoysGrow Burger. Tell us about the BoysGrow Burger.
Yeah, the BoysGrow Burger, we actually went there 2 days ago, talked with the owner of Blanc Burgers, and a young man by the name of Dion actually gave him the sales pitch, a first-year kid at BoysGrow, and we're in collaboration with them, and we're going to provide the onions, tomatoes, and our BoysGrow Salsa Orgullo dipping sauce for the burger, and it should launch in about 2 weeks.
That's crazy. Why salsa? Why salsa in particular? Ben?
Well, actually, John, last year, he gave us some options for what to do with our produce, and what we, the first year boys, decided to do is make salsa with it.
And you're able to make salsa entirely based on local ingredients, or
Yeah, well, at Boys Grow, what we do here is all the kids have a say in everything we do. So we had a business meeting last summer, and we said, all right, here's the deal: we can do the salsa, but we can only make 500 jars if we provide all our own tomatoes. So we can go through a bottling company and provide a percentage of the tomatoes and let them provide the rest, and we can sell to grocery stores at a bigger scale.
Ben, you've learned this process. Approximately how many tomatoes does it take to make one jar of salsa? Approximately, ballpark.
Well, it takes about 5.
About 5 tomatoes.
Yeah.
All sliced up and cut up and minced to
Yeah.
put into one little jar of salsa.
Yeah, including the other ingredients, yes.
And John, that presents a challenge for the quote unquote local, pure 100% local. in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
mean
salsa.
it's definitely doable. You have to get a certified kitchen. It's just definitely doable. And if that was our core goal at Boys Grow, that'd be fine. But
Right.
we're entrepreneur based. So given the opportunity to sell at a bigger scale, to sell to Costantino's, we decided to take that route.
all about volume and maximizing profit. That's what you're learning over there, huh, Ben?
Yes.
John, you could have taught the boys any facet of business. Information technology, robotics, anything.
Not okay.
Entrepreneurship. Why urban ag and why food specifically?
I wanted something the kids could really do on their own, and something they could truly take pride in. And when you plant a seed and you see that seed come to fruit, that takes time, that takes dedication, and it takes discipline. And especially with these guys growing up nowadays, there's so much information technology, there's so much out there. I kind of want them to get out in the country a little bit, take a deep breath, and realize it takes 3 months to grow a tomato, as opposed to playing an Xbox for 10 minutes. It's almost like reading a book compared to just watching a YouTube video.
And that's a good point, Ben. Do you enjoy seeing a product actually grow before your very eyes? Do you enjoy being outside?
Well, yeah, once you see how everything grows, you see that nothing grows in the grocery store. You see how you get your food every day, and you just be appreciative of what you have.
Does that change the way you eat, Ben?
You kind of.
Sort
yeah.
of, kind of,
Yeah.
kind of.
Makes me more open to more vegetables.
Do you eat your own salsa?
Yeah.
And you like your own salsa? You prefer it to other sauces that you had before?
Yeah, I'm kind of biased, so.
Kind of
yeah,
biased.
I like
Kind of
it.
biased. What else do you grow? You guys grow that you eat, Ben?
We actually, last year we had some sweet corn. It was called Peaches and Cream that we actually used to eat raw sometimes because it was really good.
Wow. And what will you not eat based on your growing experience?
Well, I don't really like tomatoes, but since it's in the salsa, it
Since you
kinda
chop
made
it up
me-
in salsa.
Yeah, I like them now, I guess.
You're a young man, Ben Lemus, but do you feel there's something larger going on here? Do you get a sense of people in cities growing their own food? Do you get the sense that this is happening in other places?
Yeah, actually, there was an urban farm tour not too long ago, and we got to see some of the farms that people have. We take a lot of tours on different farms, and it's good to see how this agriculture experience is helping me out.
John Gordon, you mentioned when you take a tomato to a local chef and you see the finished product, you really get a sense of the whole supply chain and how not only the middlemen are cut out, but how organic it is on a basic level and also a philosophical level. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, what we've learned is it's doable. We can't provide all the produce a restaurant needs, but we can give them a healthy percentage of what they need, and it's doable to cut out that middleman and provide what they actually need for the restaurants. And more restaurants are growing their own herbs and have their own gardens, and it's great for these guys to see that.
You mentioned Westside Local. Shout out to them. They put their own mints in their mojitos.
We walked through their garden this morning, actually.
So that's an example of them. What are the greatest lessons you're taking away from this Boys Grow program, Ben?
Well, the mentorship is one very important thing. Whenever we need help, we can just talk to one of the mentors we have, or John, or any of the staff in Boys Grow.
What surprised you about these boys? And taught you something about yourself and the urban agricultural movement?
Yeah. Well, it's about the boys. Ben's class has been around for a year. These guys the new class has been here for about 3 weeks, and just the ability for them to actually do it. If you just kind of thrust a kid out there, 13, 14-year-old kid, and say, hey, it's your time, it's game time. Let's do it. And whether it's selling salsa at the grocery stores, or selling produce at the restaurants, or learning how to use a tiller, whatever it is, kids are a lot more capable than we can credit for. And at BoysGrow, we put them in the limelight, and we say, this is your program, so you take the step forward.
Were you surprised by the tenacity of some of these kids?
Yeah, it really was. And the drive to be connected to something.
Ben, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit now. What's the deal with the label you've been given? You're the chicken whisperer? What's up with that?
Oh, yeah, I take care of the chickens. My dad taught me a lot of experiences with chickens, taught me all about them, and yeah.
You whisper to chickens?
Well, there's only one now, so.
There's only one now. There's only one. What happened to the rest of the chickens?
It was a slaughter.
It was a slaughter.
I think a fox got in.
How do you communicate with these chickens?
Well, I can't tell you.
Oh, you'd have to whisper it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Classified.
It's classified. What's up next for BoysGrow here, John Gordon?
Well, BoysGrow. So BoysGrow Salsa Orgullo was the 2011 class. It's a 2-year program for the kids. So the 2012 boys will have to come up with their own product. And it's some sort of derivative from the farm, whether it be whatever it is, it's their decision. So that'll be the next product these guys will come up with. They'll have to market, distribute, do what they do. And next up for us is hopefully a whole bunch of tomatoes.
Ben, you want to go into business? Is this teaching you about what you might want to do in high school and college and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I actually want to get into the agricultural business. Yeah, and the marketing side of it is really cool too, because you could see how the world really works.
Why do you want to get into the agricultural business? And you're training now, planting the seeds, so to speak. How do you think it'll change the world?
Well, there's people starving everywhere, and I don't like to see that. And to get into agriculture business, I think it's really cool. I like to work outside with plants, see how everything grows.
That's a good point, Ben. We're running out of time here in this first segment, but we have some other boys in the house. We got 3 boys in training, first-year students sitting in watching the interview today. You guys want to say your names and give a shout-out?
I'm Raymond Darkus, and I like onions.
My name is Donnie Clark, and I like collard greens.
My name is Jaleel Allen, and I like tomatoes.
Favorite vegetables. Thanks for coming to the show, fellas. Thanks for coming to the show. Ben, what do you think the urban agriculture movement is going to do going forward, John Gordon?
I think it's only going to get bigger from here. It's only going to get bigger. There's tons of opportunities for people to get involved. There's all kinds of plots of land that it beautifies the city. It creates food. It creates jobs. It creates positive energy. It's only going to move forward and get bigger from here.
We've been speaking with John Gordon of the Kansas City-based Missouri BoysGrow Corporation, and Donnie Clark and Raymond Darkus and Jaleel Allen, along with Ben Lemus, the chicken whisperer, who says he wants to go into urban agriculture. So we're planting the seeds right here. This is Central Standard on KCUR and KCUR.org. Also simulcasting on Iowa Public Radio today. Local food is our topic today and tomorrow. Today is the first part. We'll continue tomorrow. But when we return on this program, we'll be joined by reporters from Harvest Public Media to continue the discussion. We'll be right back.